Hey, I want to open up about something many of us have felt but rarely discuss. How a woman feels when she realizes she's lost you. Picture this. You've probably heard the saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone. This phrase takes on a deeper meaning in relationships. It's not just about regret. It's about introspection, memories, and that sudden wave of clarity that follows. Let me share a story. A friend of mine went through a rough breakup. Initially, his ex seemed unaffected, even distant. But months later, she started sending random texts and comments like, "Hey, saw something that reminded me of you." He asked me, "Why now? Why does she suddenly care?" That question made me dive into this deeply human experience. Why absence creates an emotional pull. Let's explore what really happens when someone realizes they've lost you and how to navigate it. Point 1. Reconnecting efforts. The first sign you'll notice is her trying to reconnect, but in subtle ways. Maybe she follows you on Instagram, likes an old post, or sends a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" Sound familiar? These actions aren't random. They're deliberate. For instance, my coworker Lisa once shared how she reconnected with an ex after months of silence. She admitted, "I didn't want to come across as desperate, so I just liked one of his posts and hoped he'd notice." This is what I call the breadcrumb trail, a way of saying, "I'm thinking about you," without fully opening up. If you spot these breadcrumbs, don't jump to conclusions. Observe. Is she being genuine, or is this just nostalgia? Sometimes, her actions reveal more about her own feelings than about you. It's her way of testing the waters before making herself vulnerable. Point 2. Testing the waters. When she does reach out directly, it's usually not emotional right away. Instead of saying, "I miss you," it's something safer like, "How's work going?" This approach isn't random. It's about protecting herself. Nobody wants to risk outright rejection. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People mentions that people are naturally hesitant when it comes to emotional vulnerability. This applies here. She's testing the waters, hoping you'll meet her halfway. Think about your intentions. Are you open to reconnecting? If so, keep the conversation light, yet honest. If not, be respectful but clear about where you stand. Avoid giving false hope. Remember, these subtle messages often lead to deeper conversations, which brings us to the next point. Point 3. Fear and absence. Here's the reality. Absence creates fear. When you step away from something, a job, a friendship, or even a hobby, it often gives you perspective. The same happens in relationships. For her, your absence creates a void. At first, she might assume you'll come back. But when she sees you've moved on, no likes, no replies, that's when fear kicks in. She starts questioning, did I take him for granted? Psychologists call this loss aversion. The fear of losing something often outweighs the joy of gaining it. This is why people sometimes act impulsively when they realize they've lost something valuable. If you've been focusing on personal growth during this time, keep going. Your progress isn't just about her, it's about you. That said, this realization can sometimes lead to surprising opportunities to reconnect, but only if it feels right. Point 4. When it's okay to reconnect. There are times when reconnecting happens for the right reasons. Maybe the breakup was due to a misunderstanding, miscommunication, or external pressures. In such cases, an honest conversation can clear the air. Take this example. A couple I know broke up because of conflicting schedules and stress, not a lack of love. Months later, they reconnected at a mutual friend's party. After talking openly, they realized the breakup was a mistake and decided to start fresh. Today, they're married with 2 kids. Reflect on what caused your breakup. If it was something surface level, a second chance might work. But if it stemmed from deeper issues like dishonesty or incompatibility, it's wiser to move on. Remember, Not every reconnection leads to reconciliation. Point 5. Understanding her feelings. What is she feeling? Likely a mix of regret, nostalgia, and perhaps guilt. Regret for not valuing what she had. Nostalgia for the good times. Guilt for her role in the breakup. These emotions often drive her to reach out, but it's important to understand this is her journey, not yours. As Mark Manson points out in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F asterisk, asterisk, comma, asterisk, people often seek closure to feel better about their own choices. Stay self-aware. Understand her feelings, but don't let them dictate your actions. Your growth and well-being should come first. Point 6. Your power to decide. Imagine receiving a message from her, something simple yet meaningful like, "I've been thinking about you." In that moment, you stand at a crossroads. The choice isn't about her feelings. It's about your future. Think of it like a bridge. Crossing it means leaving one side behind. Will you revisit old paths or step into the unknown with clarity and purpose? Consider your values, goals, and self-worth. Relationships fail when their foundation isn't strong enough. When she reaches out, pause. Reflect on your growth and whether it's worth risking it for familiarity. Sometimes, honoring your evolution isn't just self-respect. It's a commitment to your brightest future. Losing someone teaches us about ourselves, whether it's her reflecting on what she lost or you realizing what you deserve. Growth is the ultimate goal. The strongest connections happen when two whole individuals come together, not when one person is chasing another. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear your story.